Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, tmosso@the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss a standout from what was a golden era of Jaeger-LeCoultre from the early 2000s through the mid-2010s under CEO Jérôme Lambert. Jaeger-LeCoultre truly regained its glory. A highlight of Swiss watchmaking as La Grande Maison. For many years, it was the watchmaker's watchmaker, the go-to for other high-end watch brands that needed exquisite mechanisms. Well, under Lambert back in the 2000s, Jaeger-LeCoultre regained that reputation, but also focused on building extraordinary watches under its own brand, and that's exactly what we have right here. This model is a 2011 retail, 2009 manufacture, 175-piece limited edition in rose gold. It is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master 8 Days Perpetual Skelette. The skeleton watch featuring the IWC Kurt Klaus sequentially programmed perpetual calendar and JLC's own twin-barrel 8-day power reserve movement. The watch is beautiful. Now, the original version of this watch came out in 2007 as a 100-piece edition in platinum. This rose gold version has a little bit more color and a little bit more heat to it, and I do think it benefits. I also want to emphasize, you can see as I wind it, the index for the power reserve moves rapidly. It only takes about 55 full turns to energize the 8-day chronometric power reserve. But let's talk about dimensions. 41.5 millimeters in diameter, 11.8 millimeters thick, 49.5 from lug tip to lug tip. Again, it's 41.5 in diameter with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, it fits nicely. It is a big and broad watch. I'm not going to call it compact. I wouldn't say it's traditionally sized. This was considered to be pretty restrained by the standards of highly complicated watches in the 2000s, and it still looks good today. If you want something with a lot of high horology street cred, but also significant wrist presence, this is a great way to do that. It will fit under a cuff. No issues there. My wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and I would say that if your wrist is my size or larger, game on. This is going to fit nicely. The strap, we have large rectangular scale alligator leather, semi-gloss, a sort of dark brown with a little bit of bolstering or stuffing to give it some volume, a folded edge, monotone stitch on the bottom. You can see, like many brands, Jaeger-LeCoultre is moving towards gator on both sides. So, of course, the strap is much newer than the watch itself. These days, small round scale gator on the bottom of large rectangular scale is the mark of the truly high-end brands, the boutique independents like F. Pigeon and De Bethune, Louis-Lys Chopard, and of course Jaeger-LeCoultre and Vacheron also partaking. The benefit is that the strap lasts longer. We have a full folding clasp. Here you can see this is JLC's first generation double folding clasp, which is true to the time frame in which the watch was made. Rolling around to the case. The case is the most generic part of the watch. This is the one element where I could say, yes, there were other JLC watches that featured this exact case design. Now, the specific dimensions always varied, but these tall, rather narrow lugs and the sheer case band with the conical bezel is something we saw on a lot of JLC watches in the 2000s. You can also see that there's a little bit of a soft bevel on the edge of the lug, JL branded crown. You have that stepped conical bezel, and then you have the dial. And the dial has the main sapphire over the top, but then you can also see the scales are made of sapphire, not smoked sapphire, but a very subtle kind of clear sapphire with printing, so you can read the power reserve indicator, the day-night indicator with the red danger zone, so you know when not to use the quick set button to set the calendar. That's what that is. We have the date, we have the month, we have coaxial, the day and the moon phase, and then right down in the corner, a distinctive feature of the IWC complication module, we have the year and the decade on those two coaxial, coplanar sapphire wheels. Of course, being the Kurt Klaus system from IWC, built by JLC, but designed by IWC, you can see that there's one point of adjustment. Everything's programmed, so you don't have to look up the date, month, year, and moon phase. You just adjust to represent the correct day and month for the year you're in, and you're fine. Everything will move in sync. It'll catch you right up. You can see there's a ruthenium-coated track outboard with rose gold indices and quarter Arabic numerals. We have rose gold hands, which you can see are partially skeletonized to to avoid blocking the underlying mechanism, but then also partially frosted and polished. It's a good look. The screws on the dial side, you'll note, are polished steel, but when you turn the watch over, what's impressive here is that this caliber 876 SQ features rose gold screws on the reverse side, which offers lovely warmth and color alongside the violet pivot jewels, rose gold accents, and the ruthenium-coated planisphere cut to the main bridge, and that's what they're calling this, the planisphere. Very similar to the geosphere, symbol of the International Geophysical Year of 1958, and this design was also used for a long time on the geophysic, and then later the master control watches, the geosphere design here as the planisphere. There's a sort of snailing across the top of the plate, and then you can see in between it's been internally beveled and mirror polished. There's some elements here that are really thoughtful. You can see that the free-sprung regulator in rose gold has a small amount of hand engraving. It beats away at 4 Hertz, and just to remove any question, no, it's not a hacking movement, but that's not a big deal. The watch, as you can see, does not feature a running seconds display. Twin barrels, the chronometric power reserve is 8 days, though in fact it will run for almost 10 before it stops. Taking a quick look, the free-sprung regulator means all the adjustments done using variable inertia screws on the balance, and so you can change the timing by moving them in or out, but it's not susceptible to timing change by means of shock, and it also allows for very precise adjustment. We have 2 barrels, and you can see that one of them features a barrel cover that's been cut on this side to create a 12-pointed star. And then we have a number of intermediate wheels in the winding train that feature a sunburst engraving on their surface, so just a little bit more attention to detail, and that is just emblematic of how much time went into all of this. Of course, a perpetual calendar, meaning you don't have to make any corrections for irregular length months or leap years. You can see the JLC logo silk screened onto the underside of the sapphire. A truly beautiful watch. This movement, a 37 joule master 1000 hours control, and what that means is the whole watch, fully assembled, has been through a 41.6 day test of chronometry in 6 positions as a fully assembled watch, water resistance, power reserve, and durability. The 1000 hours control above and beyond the standards of the COSC. And this is a deeply impressive movement. It is full of features: a 24-hour indicator with danger zone, power reserve indicator, moon phase, perpetual calendar, 8-day chronometric, 10-day absolute power reserve, one of the most impressive mechanisms JLC issued during the 2000s, and of course the Kurt Klaus system for the perpetual calendar. The finishing is world-class, and you can see all of it, dial side and case back. 50 meters water resistant, a little bit more than you might expect from a dress watch, but still don't take it in the water. It is not an aquatic watch. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.